That day when I was late and got punished by standing the school bully, who always acted carefree, insisted on asking for my name. Quick-witted, I gave him the top student's name instead. The school bully seemed lost in thought. During Monday's morning assembly, the school bully added one last line to his written self-criticism. Julian, Kane, I fell for you the moment I laid eyes on you. I'm going to make sure the whole school knows you're mine. My hands were red from clapping amidst the screaming crowd. Love is love, you go girl. When I recognized the person running across the stage with a microphone. Jordan Shaw, the school bully, blonde hair, ears full of piercings, uniform worn all crooked, our school's infamous delinquent. The person he confessed to is someone I know even better, my desk mate Julian Kane. Transferred to our school for the last 3 months to experience life after securing a spot at a top university through Northwood High's early admission program. Both of them got called into the principal's office for a talk. That principal is such an old fossil. It's the 21st century, isn't it perfectly normal for boys to have a little something ambiguous between them. While in the toilet stall, 2 female classmates next door were discussing today's events. Who do you think is the top and who's the bottom between them? I prefer the handsome and strong type. You think Julian is the top, but Jordan is taller, and he's not bad looking either. Ugh, you just don't get it. Listen to me. Their voices were so low I couldn't hear anything even with my ear pressed against the wall. Hey classmates, what exactly are you two understanding that I'm not? Let me in on it too. But speaking of Jordan, I only just matched his name to his face a few days ago. Our school is notoriously chaotic. Fights break out constantly, and love affairs bloom everywhere. Just sneak in if you're late, but Jordan got caught himself and still had to shout, teacher, that latecomer is trying to sneak in. Got me punished to stand in the hallway. As I was leaving, he grabbed me again. Hey, what's your name? With an attitude that said he wouldn't let go unless I answered. Fed up, I snapped, Julian Kane, alright. Jordan chewed on those words. I seized the chance to shake off his hand and bolted away. He called out from behind, hey Julian, you still haven't told me which class you're in. At this thought, my heart gave a little thud. This couldn't have anything to do with me, could it? 3. The teacher called me to the office to hand out this month's scholarship. 3 years ago, I used my admission qualification to Northwood High School to come to this bottom-tier school. I couldn't help it. He offered too much. By the time I returned to the classroom, Julian was already back in his seat. His features were calm and composed, exuding an air of noble elegance. Julian and I could barely be considered childhood friends. He grew up in a standalone villa. I lived in the nanny's quarters next to his family's villa. But kids being kids, as long as we were around the same age, we naturally played together. Later, Grandma retired due to illness, and we moved to a low-rent apartment complex, never seeing Julian again. Until this winter break, when I was rushing around nonstop at the fast food restaurant. An uncertain voice suddenly called from behind Stella. Turning around, there stood Julian, grown, proportionally taller, smiling at me. It really is you. Then he transferred to our school, under the guise of experiencing life. I don't know what is so great about experiencing this kind of life. This school is far worse than Northwood High. Thinking of this, it suddenly occurred to me that this school seems to be funded by Jordan's family. Just so Jordan could have a proper high school diploma before going abroad. Julian tossed me a stack of workbooks and said, casually, bought too many, don't let them go to waste. I accepted them with tears in my eyes. I really wanted to fight these rich people. For the school bell, Chloe Young sat in front of us. Her seductive big waves were curled to perfection, and her cat-like eyes were upturned and adorable. Her hands were as delicate as spring onions adorned with 10 colorful pretty nails. She just opened her little mouth, spewing venom. Stella, he would ask the use of burying your nose in books all day. You'll still end up working for me someday. Her family was in the real estate business. I bit down on my pencil cap, pretending not to hear. Julian coldly pushed her hand off the desk. Filthy. Chloe had publicly confessed her feelings to Julian and been rejected. It had been an ugly scene. Now she had the right to mock Julian. So the reason young Master Kane doesn't like me is because he prefers men. Julian remained completely unperturbed, treating her as air, and continued explaining the problem to me. Chloe, having made a fool of herself, spat out the nouveau riche, and the cold-blooded capitalist airbirds of a feather flocked together. May you live happily ever after. I called out to Chloe and kindly reminded her, your family is nouveau riche too, but you're the unwanted one. Jordan entered the classroom just as Chloe was screaming and lunging to slap me. He swiftly blocked her sharp nails. What's going on? School rules clearly state no fighting on campus. It was rather ironic hearing this from him, considering he'd just read a self-criticism letter about fighting with delinquents during morning assembly. Faced with 2 towering figures over 8 meters tall, Chloe left in a huff. Julian immediately scowled. It's you again. Jordan's expression darkened. 2, why can't you stop haunting us? I quickly stepped between them. Come on, we're all struggling here. 5. The 2 got into a fight in the principal's office, but somehow managed to avoid hitting each other's faces. Jordan rolled up his sleeve pitifully. Look, he bruised me purple. It's all your fault for giving me the wrong name. You have to take responsibility. Julian chuckled. I didn't hit you either. Stop trying to frame me. They were about to start arguing again. My head was pounding. I apologized to Jordan first. I was wrong the other day for spouting nonsense. I'm sorry. I apologized to Julian again. Sorry for ruining your reputation. They both said in unison, it's not your fault, it's all his fault. Fine. Then Jordan moved his desk right behind mine and stubbornly refused to leave no matter what. He called it being influenced by top students. The principal couldn't do anything about it, and the whole class was screaming so loudly they nearly lifted the roof. Who's shipping them again? I wouldn't say, but I'm totally shipping them too. After school, Jordan just wouldn't leave me alone. I sighed. Jordan, how far are you planning to follow me? You can't possibly tag along while I wash dishes, can you? Jordan blushed crimson. Even though I got the name wrong today, the truth is I like you. I said sternly, we're in the critical final year. Now I won TB dating anyone. To make him give up, I added another heavy dose, and you're not my type. Jordan got anxious. What is your type? I looked him up and down, implying something. I like boys who are good at studying, have black hair, and are serious. The complete opposite of Jordan, but he seemed happy about it. See you tomorrow, I said, darting away faster than a rabbit. I quickly put the matter out of my mind, pushing open the door of the familiar fast food restaurant. I called out sweetly, I'm here, boss lady. The boss lady peeked out from the kitchen. You're here, Stella, take a break first, after studying all day. I tied my hair up neatly and headed straight into the kitchen to wash dishes. Boss lady, it's fine, you're paying me. I didn't come here to rest. The landlady's voice carried a faint trace of worry. Working 2 jobs like this every day, don't wear yourself out. I beamed like a flower. It's fine, I'm not tired. 6. When the teacher announced the formation of study groups, Julian, wasn't he there? I wrote both our names down. Jordan pressed down on my pen and said pitifully, no one wants me, can you help me study? Jordan has completely transformed himself now, with his golden hair dyed back to black and all the flashy earrings removed. His school uniform shirt is meticulously buttoned up to the top, and yes, even wearing glasses. He looks every bit the model student. I hesitate. Julian and Jordan don't exactly get along well. I was counting on Julian to help me with my studies, so I decisively turned him down. Jordan's eyes immediately reddened. My parents never cared for me since I was little. Every time I came home it was cold and empty, so I hung out outside. At least there were people to keep me company. Now they want to dump me abroad and ignore me again. I really want to study hard to prove to them I'm not useless. I was raised by my grandmother. My parents have always been a deep wound in my heart since childhood. Jordan spoke with raw emotion, his eyes brimming with tears. Finally overcome with feeling, he said sincerely, I can pay you $5,000 a month for tutoring. I immediately grabbed his hand. Jordan, it's not about the money. It's mainly because your actions moved me. I want to give up on any diligent student. Oh, and you can just transfer the tutoring fee to me. Jordan sniffled and smiled. Then you'd better accept my friend request first, teacher. 7. Julian was indeed furious. His face darkened as he growled, no, tell him to get lost. I protested, but he genuinely wants to learn. We should give a chance to someone who is trying to turn their life around. Julian's deep-set eyes fixed on my face. After a long pause, he asked, did you take money from him? I hunched my shoulders guiltily. Julian removed his glasses and pinched the bridge of his nose in frustration. Didn't I tell you to come to me if you needed money? I muttered in protest. I don't want unearned money. He said it was tutoring fees. Though it was higher than market rate, I desperately needed the money. Julian tossed out his suit yourself and stormed off, dragging his backpack behind him. The chair crashed loudly, startling me just as Jordan walked in through the front door. He glared at me and handed over the water cup. Even good students skip class. Then he plopped down onto Julian's seat. So can I sit here? Before I could respond, Jordan pouted pitifully. I've been studying really hard lately, and I think I'm getting a bit nearsighted, can't see clearly from the back. Well, for the sake of studying, there's no helping it. I was about to nod when Julian returned abruptly, slamming his backpack onto the desk. Get lost. Jordan's temple was throbbing violently after staring at each other for a long while. Jordan muttered to himself, I'm a good student, I'm not violent, and quietly sat back down. Julian plopped down noisily, gritting his teeth. He said to Jordan, I've got my eye on you, you'd better watch yourself. This meant Jordan was officially joining the study group. Jordan blinked at me innocently and said, teacher, he's so mean. I reassured Jordan, don't worry. Once you get to know him better, you'll see he's actually really nice. Jordan smirked triumphantly at Julian, raising an eyebrow. This time it was Julian's turn to feel his temple twitch violently. 8. One good turn deserves another, so I put extra effort into tutoring Jordan. Jordan texted asking what I was up to, and I asked if he'd done his studying. Jordan invited me to a dessert shop after school, and I asked, are we going there to study? Jordan gave me a new bracelet, and I told him to buy 2 exercise books next time. Jordan was devastated. He tried to bolt. I pinned him back into his chair with a glare. Study. You're not leaving until you memorize all these words. The sun dipped westward. An hour had passed since school ended. Jordan clutched the book miserably. I want to go home. I smiled. Going back means returning to a cold, empty home. Here we have the burning passion of knowledge. I picked up a physics workbook. It truly felt scorching to the touch. After a month of studying, Jordan successfully climbed 50 places from being the bottom-ranked student in his grade. A few guys came over to Jordan laughing and joking. They asked if he was truly determined to study now. Jordan lowered his voice. Who reads this stuff? I wouldn't bother if it weren't for chasing that top student. Want to go play pool tonight? Julian shifted his gaze to me. Can you really put up with him like this? Buried in my chemistry problems, I answered vaguely. What? He glanced toward the hallway. Jordan was slinging his arms around some guys with rainbow-colored hair. Seeing me look outside, Jordan hastily pushed away the hand around his neck and flashed an ingratiating smile. I let out a soft "oh" and said, anyway, he pays. I work. I've supervised everything he was supposed to learn. How he behaves has nothing to do with me. Julian curled the corner of his lips. His mood always inexplicably swung between good and bad. I chalked it up to young master syndrome. At 9 p.m. delivering takeout for the fast food joint, I happened to arrive at the pool hall where Jordan was playing billiards. The room was filled with smoke and I coughed from the irritation. The punk picking up the takeout turned his head and shouted, Jordan, come pay up. I looked up and met Jordan's delicate features. He wore a floral shirt, his earrings back in place, with an unlit thin cigarette dangling from his lips. Except for his hair not being dyed, he looked exactly like the Jordan I first met. I handled the matter professionally, showing the payment QR code, $200. The cigarette in Jordan's mouth fell to the ground in shock. He looked flustered, his hands nervously rubbing against his pants. I motioned for him to take out his phone. Jordan then hurriedly pulled out his device to scan the code. I considerately steadied his trembling hand for him. As he entered the password, Jordan explained, "I only came to hang out after finishing my homework. They kept inviting me, and I didn't know how to say no." After confirming the money had been transferred, I slipped my phone back into my pocket. "It's fine, you don't need to explain to me, we were just study partners after all." Outside the door, Jordan grabbed my hand, his brows furrowed tightly. "You don't even care about me." Under my wide-eyed stare, Jordan quickly changed his tone. "Don't care about my studies." I tried to push his hand away, but it didn't budge. With a sigh, I said, "Jordan, studying is your own responsibility. Just because I keep an eye on you at school doesn't mean I have to watch you 24/7. That's a different price." 10. Jordan insisted. It was late and wanted to walk me home. We passed through an alley barely wide enough for two beneath the sky, obscured by fire escapes. The only working streetlight in front of the old apartment building illuminated the stairway leading to my place. Jordan kept his hands in his pockets, kicking at trash on the ground. I thought of that little punk from earlier and kindly reminded him, real friends wouldn't make you pay for everything, don't let them scam you. Everyone at school says Jordan is an easy mark, he gives whatever people ask for. Several delinquents outside school even called Jordan to pay for their dates with girlfriends. Jordan looked up, his eyes sparkling. "You do care about me after all." I really want to crack open Jordan's head to see if there's anything inside besides love-struck mush and water. I pointed to the rundown apartment above us and told Jordan, "I really don't have the energy to play these high school romance games with you. I need to earn money to support my family, and I have to get into university. I'm not like any of you. Can you just stop messing with me?" Jordan lowered his eyes, his expression unreadable. "Then, when you told Julian that what you think of me doesn't matter, was that true?" So, he had heard Julian's words today. I responded with a soft Jordan's voice was muffled. "Did you really only hang out with me because of money too?" Not knowing how to answer, I just said, "See you at school tomorrow," and ran off as fast as I could. The next day, at school, Jordan's desk was already gone. Chloe shouted loudly, "I told you Jordan wouldn't last more than a month in school, but none of you believed me. Someone like him is destined to be a blue-collar worker. In this school, not fitting in is the original sin because I study seriously, I don't fit in." Because Jordan couldn't understand sarcasm and would laugh along anyway, he was labeled as simple-minded and wasn't allowed to join the group either. So he started hanging out with people outside of school, while Julian isolated himself from everyone. The three of us used to form a stable triangle. Now that triangle is missing a corner. But at least I still have Julian. I wonder if Jordan will be laughed at. I gnawed on my pen cap, without Jordan's restless head-scratching sounds behind me while solving problems. It felt strangely unfamiliar. 11. I tried to find Jordan several times, but never managed to catch him. I transferred the remaining 2 months' money back via mobile payment, but the recipient didn't accept it. The cold transaction was refunded, leaving me somewhat helpless. After school, I decided to try my luck at the entrance. A massive black SUV loomed at the gate like a bear. The car window on the driver's side rolled down, and a burly middle-aged man took off his sunglasses, squinting as he asked, "You must be Stella Ho." Staring at the man's smooth bald head and his colorful tattooed arms, I gulped and took a step back. "I'm not," I said, just as the rear door suddenly swung open. My legs went weak, and I nearly collapsed to my knees. Out stepped a slender, stunning woman. She grabbed my hands enthusiastically, exclaiming, "Oh my goodness, you must be Stella. Look at you, what a beautiful girl." "Don't be scared, I'm Jordan's mom." "Honey, put your sunglasses back on, you're scaring the poor girl." I was completely baffled, but instinctively greeted them, "Hello, uncle and auntie." Looking closely, Jordan's mother bore a striking resemblance to him. Annie Xiao pulled me toward the car. Come on, let's South go to our place for a while. Uncle will cook for you." I got into the car in a daze. Just as the car was about to start, a sudden shout came from outside. "Mom, what are you doing?" I stuck my head out the window, and Jordan stared dumbfounded as his family car slowly drove away. Aunt Xiao pulled my head back in and quickly closed the window. "It's really hot today. Don't let the cold air out. Stella, are you thirsty? There's Coke in the car. You kids all love this stuff." I saw Jordan sprinting after the car and cautiously asked, "Annie, is it okay that Jordan didn't get in the car?" Uncle Xiao glanced at the rearview mirror and pressed the accelerator harder. "It's fine. Jordan likes running." 12. Jordan's house wasn't as big and beautiful as I had imagined. His family lived in an upscale community in the city center, and the entire layout of the house could be taken in at a glance. A family photo of 3 hangs above the center of the dining table, with 3 neatly arranged rooms to the right. Uncle Xiao headed straight to the kitchen as soon as he got home, while Aunt Xiao gestured for me to sit on the sofa. Nervously clutching an armful of snacks, I asked Uncle Annie, "Is there something you wanted to talk about?" Aunt Xiao rubbed her hands together, her smile carrying a hint of eagerness. "I heard from teacher Jordan that you've been helping him with his studies lately." I nodded. "Honestly, we're in the same study group." "That's good, that's wonderful." Aunt Xiao beamed even brighter. "Jordan improved by over 50 places in the last exam, all thanks to your tutoring. He said you make him stay after school to memorize vocabulary and do homework, and he hardly hangs out with those troublemakers anymore." I confessed truthfully, because Jordan paid me. Aunt Xiao's smile froze on her face. Seizing the opportunity, one pulled out my phone. "Auntie, I haven't been tutoring Jordan lately. Let me return the remaining 2 months' tutoring fees to you." Aunt Xiao pressed down on my phone, the corners of her eyes drooping slightly. "Stella, I have an unreasonable favor to ask. Could you continue tutoring Jordan?" I said hesitantly. "It's not that I don't want to teach Jordan, but Jordan himself doesn't want to study anymore. I can't even get hold of him, otherwise I really wouldn't want to return this money." $10,000 would cover Grandma's medicine for several months. Aunt Xiao wiped her eyes as she spoke of the past. Jordan's parents were too busy with their business to look after him, so he grew up alone. By the time they had money, Jordan was already grown. He disliked studying, had no friends, and spoke very little. In high school, he became even worse, spending all his time with delinquents and never behaving properly. Those so-called friends of Jordan's just want to spend his money. They're not real friends at all, but Jordan's so lonely. I can't bear to take away the few friends he has. Aunt Xiao gestured toward Uncle Xiao, who is busy in the kitchen. His father doesn't he know how to raise a child? Either the two of them can't exchange more than a few words without arguing. Auntie knows you're a good kid. If you're willing to keep tutoring him, I'm sure he can change for the better. Aunt Xiao's words made my cheeks grow warm. After a long pause, I finally said, Annie, I'm just a high school student. I can't save anyone. I can help him with his studies, but that is all I can do. Studying is enough. Studying is enough, Aunt Xiao said with reddened eyes, visibly moved. Jordan keeps mentioning you. I know he'd definitely listen to you. Aunt Xiao's words made my cheeks grow warm. By the time Jordan pushed open the door panting heavily, the three of us were already seated at the table eating. Jordan had never seen his father smile so happily before. He was breathing like a winded ox, his words coming out like a broken drum. What are you all doing? Uncle Xiao put chicken wings in my bowl. Are you blind? Go wash your hands and come eat. Aunt Xiao waved her hand. Jordan, I'm giving you to Stella. Now you must listen to Stella from now on. 13 under Jordan's parents' arrangements, he was directly transferred to our class. His allowance was cut off, and when the small-time gangsters couldn't get money from him, they reportedly blocked Jordan. He said he'd go find them when Jordan had money. Jordan didn't care at all. Ever since he found out I took the initiative to return the money to his parents and was willing to look after him, he became unusually obedient. Shyly holding a pen, he asked, so does this mean we've met each other as parents? I took several deep breaths to suppress the urge to hit him. I tapped on his desk. Hurry up and finish writing, or you're not leaving. Julian was very unhappy that Jordan kept hanging around us every day. During PE class, he sat beside me watching Jordan playing basketball in the distance. I don't like him. I tilted my head. Actually, Jordan's a pretty good guy. He would help an old lady collecting bottles push her cart on the road, straighten up toppled shared bikes, and give his last bit of breakfast money to elderly beggars. I said they were scammers. Jordan chuckled. That's fine too. At least it means they're not truly suffering. Julian frowned slightly. Stella, I'm saying this for your own good. Jordan isn't on the same level as us. What kind of person am I then? I retorted. Julian, I'm not on the same level as you either. You, Jordan, and I are not on the same level. I know you're worried about my college entrance exams being affected, but I have the ability to make my own decisions. Julian was left speechless for a long moment before finally spitting out a do whatever you want and storming off. Jordan came running over drenched in sweat and gulped down water noisily. After drinking, he lifted the hem of his shirt to wipe his sweat, revealing well-defined abs swaying less than half a meter away from me. I had to look away. Jordan seemed to unintentionally pull his shirt back down quickly. What's up with Julian again? I glared at him. Why do you care about him if you fail 6 subjects again? When the exam results come out, don't even think about attending next PE class. Jordan glanced at the textbook spread open on my knees, muttered something about not wanting to mess with me, and returned to the court. 14 by the third mock exam. Jordan's total score had barely scraped a passing grade. I believe what Aunt Xiao said about Jordan being smart. If Jordan puts in some effort, he might actually make it to university. When taking graduation photos, he stubbornly insisted on standing next to me. The teacher couldn't take it anymore and slapped him. Boys, stand at the back. The boys called him over with laughter and jokes. Jordan didn't spend any more money, just played basketball and video games with them and ended up making friends instead. Julian didn't join us for the photo. He stood to the side and only called out to me after we finished taking pictures. With a heavy gaze, he asked, which schools are you applying to? I listed a few university names. My first choice was the institution where he had secured early admission. Julian's gaze softened a little. He reached out to remove the leaf from my hair and said, Stella, I wish we could be like when we were kids, always together. When we played house as children, he was always the father and I was the mother. Julian spoke very cryptically. I fell silent for a moment. I asked, did you know my grandmother is sick? Julian nodded. I continued, I don't have parents. My grandmother raised me by collecting trash. 3 years ago, when she needed surgery, I had to give up my admission to Northwood High just to get $30,000. Now I'm working 2 jobs just to barely cover her medical expenses. Julian frowned slightly, seemingly not understanding why I suddenly brought this up. I gazed into the distance. You're an only child. Your parents have had high expectations for you since childhood, hoping you'll inherit the family business. Do you think they'd accept a Cinderella who doesn't even have parents? If it comes down to choosing between me and your future, are you sure you'd pick me? Julian didn't expect me to say these things. For 18 years, everything had gone smoothly for him. Whatever he wanted, he got. He didn't understand the rules of this world. So Julian still nodded and said, I will. I grinned and patted him on the shoulder. Julian, I'm touched. Thanks. I've seen too many of this world's rules. At this age, we're all too young. Who knows what tomorrow will bring? But I will always be moved by this sincere confession. Chloe teamed up with a few girls and locked me in the bathroom. A basin of cold water poured over my head, soaking me completely. Their voices outside were icy. Stella, he with 2 handsome guys revolving around you. You must be feeling pretty smug, huh? I wiped the water from my face. Summer clothes are thin, and the wet shirt clung to my body, making my undergarments clearly visible. Pushing the door again, it was indeed locked from the outside. Cursing under my breath, I fished my phone out of my pants pocket. After scrolling through my contacts for a while, I decided to call Julian first. Julian's voice sounded faint over the phone. What is up? I asked, where are you? Julian replied, I'm at an academic competition. I belatedly remembered that he had taken the day off. Julian, not hearing my response, sensed something was wrong. What happened, he asked. I told him about being locked in the girls' restroom. Can you come open the door for me and bring a change of clothes? I'm completely soaked. Julian paused for a moment on the other, and just 10 more minutes I can leave after this final round. It'll take me about 20 minutes to get there, wait half an hour, and I'll find a janitor to open the door for you. The damp clothes clung uncomfortably to my skin, and the blast of cold air made me shiver. I answered briefly, okay, before the call ended. The cramped bathroom stall was damp, forcing me to hug my arms and stay as far from the vent as possible. Nearing dismissal time, the place was nearly empty, and the weary twilight streamed through the window into the stall. A sudden wave of timidity crept up from my feet through my body. I couldn't help but crouch down, trying to make myself smaller to resist the fear. I kept comforting myself that Julian would come soon. My phone screen flashed twice. Picking it up, I saw Jordan's name jumping in the message notification. Just as I was about to tap to read it, this aging phone started flashing wildly. It crashed. I helplessly pressed the power button a few times before finally giving up. Resigned, I waited in the restroom for Julian. Suddenly, the outer door was pounded loudly, followed by Jordan's shout, Stella, Stella, are you in there? I hurriedly responded, I'm here, Jordan, I'm locked in. Jordan kicked the door open with a few swift strikes, knocking aside the broom that had been propped against it. Just as he was about to pull the door, I held onto the stall door. Wait. Jordan outside paused. What's wrong? I gritted my teeth. All my clothes are soaked. Jordan fell silent for a moment. After a rustling sound, a shirt was tossed down from above. Jordan's voice was low and deep. Put it on. I slipped on the shirt and walked out. Jordan stood bare-chested, somewhat embarrassed, with his back turned at the bathroom doorway. The teenager's lean waist led up to broad, sturdy shoulders. The golden glow of sunset seemed to gild him as he walked me home shirtless, looking rather peculiar. A few scattered onlookers glanced our way, but were quickly glared into submission. On the way back, I borrowed his phone to let Julian know I was safe. Jordan said, he'd avenge me. I shook my head. Let it go, exams are coming up. I don't want to stir up trouble. I told him to wait and dashed home to change clothes quickly. After Jordan finished dressing, he roughly ruffled my hair and growled, next time something happens, remember to call me first. Pushed down a notch, I could only meekly reply with a soft okay. 16 1 week before the college entrance exams, the sky poured down like a punctured water bag. Jordan poked me with his pen. My parents said they'll pick you up on exam day. Julian coldly swatted his pen away. I'll be the one picking her up, no need for your concern. Jordan had already figured out how to get under his skin. He said in a sickly sweet tone, no problem, Julian, we can all ride together. The whole school already knows I like you anyway. Julian immediately turned away, not even giving him a glance. I smoothed things over. Neither of you needs to pick me up. The test center is at our own school. I can walk there in 15 minutes. On the day of the exam, the sky poured relentlessly for half an hour. The long-defunct drainage system left the dilapidated streets flooded with rainwater. The community administrator shouted through a megaphone from the perimeter, everyone stay inside for now, there might be live wires in the water. Grandma leaned out the window and shouted, my granddaughter has her college entrance exams coming up. Several neighborhood aunties rushed around anxiously, telling me not to worry, they'd go find the power company to investigate immediately. Julian called first. Stella, I'm stuck outside the alley and can't get in. Suppressing the panic in my heart, I kept my voice as steady as possible. The power company is on their way. There might be electricity in the water. Don't you dare come in. Julian hesitated, but you have exams coming up soon. Will they really act that fast? I could only comfort him and myself. It's better than losing our lives. Julian said he'd figure something out. After hanging up, Grandma paced around the room. It's all my fault for dragging you here, renting this terrible place. I hug her. It's okay. Worst case, I'll retake the exams next year. Maybe with another year of preparation, I'll do even better. Grandma's cloudy eyes brimmed with unshed tears. The neighborhood aunties outside had already scattered in search of help. Suddenly, I faintly heard someone calling my name, Stella, Stella. I leaned out the window to look. Jordan, wearing rubber rain boots, was waving and shouting from downstairs. I couldn't believe it, my voice cracking as I screamed, Jordan, are you insane? There might be electricity in the water. Stop moving, Jordan. He pushed back the hood of his raincoat, his black hair dripping wet, still grinning. Come down quick, I'll take you to your exam. I shook my head, frantically urging him to come up and take shelter from the rain, but Jordan, as if deliberately opposing me, stood perfectly still. Outside, the rain poured down in sheets as I dashed out at full speed to pull him back. Jordan stood rooted to the spot, utterly immovable. The minute hand ticked forward second by second, yet the two of us remained locked in stalemate. He said, if you want to leave, I'll stand here forever. In the end, I conceded defeat, raising my umbrella to step outside. Jordan insisted on carrying me, saying, if your shoes and socks get soaked, you'll definitely do poorly on the exam. 17, his youthful arms were strong, holding me steady, without a single waver. I held up the umbrella, only able to see his resolute profile. My throat felt stuffed with cotton, suppressing the bitterness with anger. I said, are you crazy? What if you got electrocuted? Jordan adjusted his grip on me. Then wouldn't I be electrocuting both of us right now while carrying you? Furious, I snapped, I don't want to die yet. Jordan burst into laughter. The power company cut the electricity in this area before I came. Did you really think I'd dare to barge in otherwise? I know how important the college entrance exam is to you. I have to come pick you up for the test. Don't be afraid, I'm here. I couldn't quite describe the feeling in my heart. After Grandma fell ill, I was the only one who could hold the family together. I could ignore my classmates' mocking remarks about my poverty, and I could ignore the unreasonable demands of difficult customers. None of this could penetrate my world. I believed I could live perfectly well without anyone's help. I even managed to comfort Julian when he called earlier. But deep down I knew the panic within me, 3 years of hard work only to face the impossibility of taking the exam. My path to adulthood would have to be delayed another year. This would be a tremendous test for both me and Grandma. But Jordan came. He said, "Don't be afraid." It was the first time I'd ever heard those words. The sharp rumors couldn't pierce my protective shell, yet the gentle drizzle managed to seep inside. Julian arrived in a hurry with his people just as Jordan set me down on the ground. Jordan wiped the rainwater off my backpack with his hand and opened the car door. Looking at Julian's increasingly pale face, I gave him a faint smile and got into Jordan's family car. 18. The continuous rain finally stopped on the day exams ended. The sky cleared and golden sunset light streamed through the windows. All the classmates were cheering, flying old textbook pages down the hallway. Jordan gave me a graduation gift. There was a small note tucked inside the gift. "You'll always be my plan, A." The gift was a brand new phone. My old phone had fallen into water before the exam and was completely broken. As soon as I opened the messaging app, Jordan's text popped up. "Jordan teacher, good luck on the exam tomorrow. Your disciple will fight all demons and monsters, safely escort the master to fetch the scriptures." Oh. The message was sent the day before the exam. By the time I realized it, I'd already been laughing for a long while. Fumbling a bit as I learned the new phone's functions, I sent him a reply. "Little fish, if you don't get into university, master will beat you to death." Fist. Jordan replied quickly, "Jordan, if you kill me, you won't have an apprentice anymore." Scared. "Little fish, I can live without an apprentice." I thought for a moment and added, "But I can't live without you. Let us go to university together." Jordan 18. I worked part-time at a fast food restaurant, and in the evenings I tutored students on the other side of town. Class ended at 9 in the evening, and it took 2 hours on the subway to get home. Every time Jordan would wait downstairs in the neighborhood, sometimes holding an ice drink, other times fried chicken skewers. He wouldn't even look at his phone, just squatting there staring intently at the building entrance. When he saw me, he'd flash a grin full of white teeth. "You're done with class." I asked him why he liked me. Jordan's ears turned red. "Do you need a reason to like someone?" I was puzzled. "No reason at all." Jordan's eyes were brighter than the stars in the sky. "I don't know why I like you, but I'm happy when I see you and restless when I don't. Knowing you're troubled, I just want to solve it for you, hoping you'll always be happy." I guess this is what liking someone feels like. I had meant to tease Jordan, but his words made my heart race instead. Jordan persisted in asking, "After all this time, have you ever liked me even a little?" I bit my tongue, unsure of what to say, but the blush on the girl's face spoke louder than 1,000 words. Jordan shoved the milk tea from his backpack into my hands and spoke with deliberate seriousness. "It's okay, I'll wait until you're ready to say you like me. Stella, we still have a long future ahead of us." At 19, when the college entrance exam results came out, I got into the same university Julian was admitted to through early acceptance. But it wasn't for anyone else's sake, just because I wanted to. Jordan barely scraped past the undergraduate cutoff score. He said he'd apply to any school in that city no matter what major as long as I'm in the same city as you. Julian went abroad instead. Jordan, who had initially talked about going overseas to idle away his time, stayed behind while the one who got the guaranteed admission left. I went to the airport to see him off. Julian wore a gray polo shirt and swapped his glasses for gold-rimmed ones, shedding a bit of his student aura. We stared at each other for a long time, unsure of what to say. In the end, I spoke first. "Julian, thank you for taking care of me these past 3 months. Have a safe journey abroad." Julian gazed at me intently. He said, "Is it because I didn't come to rescue you right away?" It took me a moment to realize he was referring to that incident with Chloe. Later, Jordan gave her quite a hard time. I chuckled softly and shook my head. Julian clenched his fists tightly. The pride of youth left him unable to comprehend where he had lost. "I wanted to save you on exam day too, but it took some time to find help. If only I could been faster, I would beaten Jordan there." I kept shaking my head. "No, Julian." Julian fell silent. I said, "Because I don't want to be plan B. I need a firm choice." Julian said anxiously, "And so do you." Transferred to our school for the last 3 months to experience life after securing a spot at a top university through Northwood High's early admission program. But Jordan always puts me first, so this time I want to put him first too. 20. The plane traced a graceful arc across the sky. I watched Julian walk away as my phone kept ringing incessantly. "Jordan, you're not going to fly away with Julian, are you?" Oh. I couldn't help but chuckle, sending back a sticker as I walked out with ease. The world outside is vast with clear skies and fresh air, and I wander within it free and at ease. And never lonely again. The end.